So this video is going to be a little different than what my normal videos are, and it's going to be about the Marin Rift Zones that are coming out for 2023. And I want to compare my Rift Zone 1 from 2022 to the brand new 2023 model and see how much difference there actually is. So they do have 4 different models coming out, and they do offer them in a variance of 29 or 27.5. They also have a junior version. But I'm going to talk about the adult full-size bikes. The Marin Rift Zone 1 is going to be my main focus. And they have a Rift Zone 2 and a brand new, what they call Rift Zone XR. That is their top of the line. I'm assuming that that is replacing what was the Rift Zone 3. But let's go ahead and let's dig into the detailed specs of the geometry, because there are some subtle differences here that could make this bike a little bit more nimble and a little bit more aggressive out on the trail. So I'm only going to be looking at the large size frame in the 29 build. This is for the Rift Zone 1, 2, and the XR, and I'm going to compare it to my Rift Zone 1. And let's start with the head tube angle, because that was one thing that I really appreciated about the 2022 model, is it came in with a super slack 65.5 degree head tube angle, and the 2023 model does come with that same head tube angle. Next up is the head tube length. Last year the head tube length was 110 millimeters. This year it's 125. The seat tube angle has also changed by a degree. It is now 77 degrees instead of 76. The seat tube length is going to be the exact same, 425 millimeters. The effective top tube is slightly different, not by a lot. 632.1 on the 2023 model versus 632.51 on the 2022. The bottom bracket height is just slightly different too, 1 millimeter difference. 343 versus 344 from 2022. The bottom bracket drop also has changed, and that's probably due to the bottom bracket height. It's 35 in the 2023 model versus 34. Now the standover height is going to be a little bit different, and I'd like to see this. I like to see standover height get lower and lower if possible. On the 2022 model, it was 717.83, and now on the 2023 model, it is going to be 701.7. So you're dropping about 16 millimeters on the standover height. Now the wheelbase does get a little bit longer. Last year it was 1,213 millimeters. This year it's 1,234.4. The chainstay length is 430 millimeters for 2023 versus 425. The seat tube diameter is the exact same, 30.9, which is good to see because you can find dropper posts for them really easily in that size. The stack height is 637.3 for the new version versus 611.7. So a pretty big difference on the stack height. The reach did get a little bit longer at 485 millimeters versus 480. So you're looking at 5 millimeters of length difference, but you can offset that by going with the shorter stem, and they did go with a 35 millimeter stem. So all these numbers look really, really good, but of course, what I have found with any bike, you've got to get on the bike, you've got to actually ride it. Now, here's where the big differences come in, and I just want to go over a few of these things, and it's not a giant difference in the component spec, except for a few things. Now, some of you may be asking, does it come with a through axle on the back? Because you guys recently saw me change out from a quick release when I upgraded to these Hunt trail wide wheels to a through axle. Unfortunately, it doesn't. It still comes with the 141 quick release. That is boost spacing. It is upgradable to a through axle, so that's good. A 148/12 through axle, so that looks to probably be the exact same setup that I did on this Rift Zone 1 from 2022. Now, the biggest upgrade on this bike is the travel. The rear travel on the Rift Zone 1 from 2022 was 125 millimeters. They bumped this up to 130 millimeters. And then the big one is the front gets 10 more millimeters of travel. You go from a 130 RockShox Recon on the 22 model to a 140. This is going to be an X-Fusion slide boost fork. Now, I did install an X-Fusion fork on my Giordano, and honestly, I absolutely love that fork. It's super plush, super responsive. I put it through all kinds of things, and being that it was on a hardtail, I feel like I pushed it really hard. So now with the X-Fusion fork up front, they also put the X-Fusion shock in the back, so it's a matching pair. I would love to absolutely ride this to see what I think of that X-Fusion up front. And sometimes whenever you put a combination of the same model or same brand of suspension on a bike, it really does feel like they were made to work together. So I'm really interested in trying this bike out at some point. Things that it's gonna have that are really similar that I love seeing, the Dior 11 speed. I love the Dior 11 speed over the 12 speed because you get that HG hub. You don't have that micro spline hub that you get on a 12 speed. So that HG hub is awesome. I would take an 11 speed over a 12 speed any day in my book. Comes with the MT200 brakes, which are the same brakes that came on this with 180 millimeter rotors. Other than that, this looks to be pretty competitive to what the 2022 model offered, but it's a little bit less than what they were selling for last year. So I'm really excited to see this in person. The color schemes on these bikes look excellent. So let me know what you guys think of this brand new Rift Zone. And if you want to look at the Rift Zone 2 and the XR, or maybe even the Junior, I will put some links down below to Marin's website. I'll also put some links that will take you over to Bikes Online. And then that way, whenever these bikes are ready, if you want to purchase one, you can use that link and it helps out this channel. And that type of stuff is really appreciated. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the brand new 2023 Rift Zones. I'm pretty stoked on them. This bike has blown me away since I've gotten it. And I think that if the 2022 models blew me away, these 2023 models will probably be just as good, if not even more impressive. But again, thanks for watching this. Let me know what you think of this video format if you guys like it. And we'll see you guys in the next one.